see in a few seconds. Let's see that. Let me see. It's still saying waiting. Oh. Oh, I hear my voice. I don't see yet my picture. There it is. Hello, team. I think we are alive here. Okay, I'm muting myself because there's an echo now. Oh, amazing. How's everyone doing? Yes, yes. So Nick, I finally made it to work. It was like, okay, do you want to start? Like, auto start is not enabled. Oh, Nick is asking from the other Nick, where are you located? In MA? That's awesome. Netherlands. Yes, loud and clear. Thank you, Nick. Yeah, I've been to Netherlands too. It's really amazing. So like going to the Rijksmuseum and seeing the Rembrandt, it's just fantastic. So I can tell all of you that until you have seen a Rembrandt painting, you have no idea what's in store for you. For me, they were such shockers. That painting with the gentlemen and the traders on the large frame that was in the front when we went into the museum at the time when I visited. I swear it was better than any photograph was. It was like live and conscious people looking back at you. It was just absolutely amazing. So that's my Netherlands experience. Sadly, I haven't been to Netherlands more than just a layover in plane flights over Europe. But when I get the time, I just go out to the city and just it's fantastic. Hi, Louis. Hi, Ramsey. I'm glad you made it. So, actually, what I am missing here is that Hardboiled fellow, he posted a really fantastic comment in the chat, and I don't see that chat. I think he posted it like a couple hours ago, yesterday night, and he was asking about the Altman by BYOB amplifier. What do I think of it? And he was specifically asking it because it looks like it's a chip amp, and it's on a piece of spruce. And what do I think about that? And let's have a look at it. Now let's change the thing. Okay, so now he was specifically asking seeing me in a delay. So that's what you see. That's the actual sound. But now piece of spruce. Bingo. And what do I think about that? This is it. So that's the let's have a look at amplifier. And it's okay. Specifically asking so that's what they are saying. But now piece of bingo. And what do I think about that? This is it. So let's have a look at amplifier. Specifically asking so that's but now piece of bingo. And what do I think about this is it. Let's have a look at the fire. Specifically asking but now piece of bingo. And what do I think about this is it. Let's have a look at the fire. Look at the My goodness, yes, it's feeding back the sound from the video as well. Ah, okay, and it's totally overloading it. Huh. Okay. Thank you, guys. For some reason, I didn't notice that my OBS Studio was set up to feed the sound of the screen here. So now we are capturing the screen in a screen and a screen, and wow, and the sound in a sound in a sound. So is it better now? I really hope. Okay, okay. Now that took care of it. Huh. Okay, I see. I know why. Because when I'm shifting from here I did take out the screen capture from the audio mixing, and when we shift back here, then it had the sound on, but not anymore. Yes. So I think you probably haven't heard. Oh God. So have you guys heard anything from what I heard? You like the story about the uh oh goodness. So you probably haven't heard anything about anything, right? Oh shucks. I didn't even say that. Oh wow. Okay, guys, so Jew. Oh my goodness. Sorry, folks. I didn't see it. And then I didn't scroll down to the bottom of the comments. I was just reading them one at. Oh God. What? Okay. Uh, my goodness. I'm really sorry about that. Oh no. Crap. I just. My goodness. I have to go through it again. Ah, I'm sorry that it's been for nothing until now. Uh, this this is really draining. So actually what I wanted to do for this sharing is about keeping it maybe an hour long, because for the past 3 weeks I've been battling really hard with my kidney stones, and that's where I went with a bathroom break, and I know I promised like one video a day or more for this month, but I just ended up just recovery and sick time, and just like quite miserable during this past month, and I think now I have shared my misery in the past hours with everyone. So anyway, so let's maybe start from scratch. It's a kind of really painful for me, but not that I don't want to talk about it. It's just my body is painful, and okay, but I try to really try to squeeze it down to a few. So what we have here, the idea behind this is to take a class D amp. So what you see here, this very thing, is the equivalent of this. Just it's changed into a different clothes. So here you see a plastic cover, cheese ball connectors, and the cheese ball plastic knob for volume control, and it's changed. So the plastic gives place to a wooden board, a piece of spruce, and better connectors. These are still, I think, as bare bottom connectors, like lowest grade as possible. These RCA jacks are probably kind of, I don't could be like really the cheapest jacks there. That's like a car fuse, and then like a cheap switch, and let's have a look at that. And then you see Vima capacitors, maybe like $1 or $2 each. Cheap caps as well. Neither of these break past the few cents limit. And then you have a bunch of SMD, surface mount devices, total of maybe €1 or €2, not even that. The most expensive thing here might be the this volume control is probably a few euros, not more, and the heatsink, €2-3 probably. And I think the Class D chip must be on the other side, and we don't see it. That's probably like €2 or €3 as well. And making the board, probably that was the hardest, because he made his board, and probably like designing the board, taking the time, that was by far the most expensive part of this investment. And but once you have the board, you can have a couple of thousand made for like less than $1 each, or $1 or $2 each. Board this size, maybe a few cents each, I don't know. And also the piece of spruce, this is like kind of like the lowest grade spruce you can get from Practicare or something, like a €1 or €2, maybe a few cents. And it's really not much, really easy. And if you want to replicate your own, just get a T amp. This is a Dayton Audio T amp. This is like was one of the first Class D amps that came out. I got it like 15 years ago, or maybe Kyle gave it to me. I think Kyle gave it to me, and or maybe I bought it. I can't recall. It's been just so long ago. And when it came out, this was the time when Class D was new, and there were a couple like expensive, around $900, $1,000 T amps. I mean, not T amps, digital amps, Class D amps, which sounded pretty decent. They had like really that punch, that control over the driver, but as far as refinement went, they just were really murdered by the big Conrad Johnson, the SA350. But that SA350 modified by Stu really murdered every single solid state amp that it was put against. So don't think about it much, even ones that cost like many times its price, except the micro EPA one. But they sound really different. So like the CJ is more like a powerhouse, like a steamroller going through things. But it wasn't, if you wanted to listen to like chamber music or classical, that's not the way to go. The micro E was way better in classical music than that. But apart from micro E and that CJ, if we look, then the Class D presented really good competition to the to any other generic and even really good audiophile solid state amps. And this little T amp, we compared it at Stu's shop, my mentor shop at Audio Directions. And when plugged into the wall wart, into the wall, let me just double check, is the sound still okay? Okay, ARP spot. Oh, it has an ARP. So then it's a little bit better. Maybe like I don't know what's the price now for an ARPS, $50 to $100. So then good. So there's like a little bit of added price on there. So I think that's kind of like the most expensive piece on the board that we see. It's more expensive than the rest of what you see put together. And I really second it to change the pod because that's, I would say, in these little cheap amps, the Class D amps, that's the #1 bottleneck. And there's the knob here. It's been changed from this plastic, that plastic here, to wood, because it helps to control the resonances. And when there are some resonances, then those resonances won't be those plasticky ones contributing to the sound, and it does make a difference. And some of you can call this voodoo or humbug. It's not. It's resonance. Even if the resonance is like so many dBs, like tens and 30, 60, 70 dB below the signal level, it will still add up to the sound and really screw up the finer details, because the brain is not an oscilloscope. So if it's like 70 dB down, we clap, yay, excellent measurement. But our brain doesn't work like that. It's going to track those minute changes on the crest of those big hips and valleys that are the big dynamic shifts. And those minute changes, those minute phase shift, those minute harmonic additions, colorations, those are the ones based on which our brain is triggered. And it triggers us into switching perception modes. And oh my goodness, there's so much to catch up with. So what else? So basically what you see here is the equivalent of a T-amp just pimped out. I think it could be pimped out even more. These are really basic VMA capacitors. One can use better ones. You could use much better connectors as well, and way better capacitors here. And if you could redesign this circuit board, because he designed it anyway, I would really ditch the SMDs. These are really junk units. I would use some better ones. These are just super sensitive to heat. I don't like them, and you don't have the opportunity to change them, to see how it impacts the sound, and we just assume, oh, it's in the digital domain, who cares? No, you need to care. Just by placing it on a board and hearing a tremendous difference from plastic chassis or metal chassis is the proof that these things that are in the minute microscopic scale as far as sound goes, they still make tremendous difference. So one thing you could do is like ditch the fuse here, and then have just step up one more notch. And what else? Also these caps, I don't know what these are, but I would change it to Anna-Steel mix, and that would add another layer to the sound, I think. Oh, alpha, yeah. That's what I thought. I thought as well that's an alpha pot based on the 3FA on it, and that's like a $5 pot. And if you would change it to an ARPS, that would really upgrade it to a new level. So why I was looking at this thing, because, well, where was I? I had another page up here. Where is it? So anyway, the page that shows that it's hooked up to a system with a pretty nice loudspeaker and well taken care of turntable, and that's the key for any experiment like this, like having a really cheap, super affordable unit. And I don't know what the price is here, but yesterday night when I was looking at it, I think I saw something like a 3,000 euro price tag. It cannot be true. I don't think that's real. That was probably a typo or a mistake in the thing, because the reasonable price tag for everything you see here, and that includes a generous fee for the designer, for the company to make a living, would be between 100 and 150 euros, not more. And so I don't know what is actually the money they are selling it for, but if they're selling it for 150 euros, they're already making a killing on it. So let's so why I was sharing with all of this is that Let me just go back to the questions and just to make sure. Very affordable, kids. The site does show 3,000 euro. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I nearly fell off my chair yesterday night when I thought 3,000, but I didn't want to talk about it unless, more deeply unless I have confirmation that I'm not out of my mind, you know, I'm not in so much kidney pain that I cannot differentiate a 30 euro price tag from 3,000 euro. I really thought it's like 30 euros and I just missed the decimals, because that's the price for a T-amp. I paid like $30 for this T-amp, and it has the exact same internals. Just come on, come on. I know, like, a Dualund is a German company, and they have just absolutely beyond ridiculous profit margins. Like, if you get the Dualund copper cast capacitor a couple years ago, when they came out with it, it was 16 times the price than the Miflex KPCU. And what does that mean? So for Dualund, Miflex, the Polish Miflex capacitor making company, is the OEM for Dualund. So basically, when you buy Dualund, it's a Miflex capacitor with a Dualund logo covering up the Miflex. But it comes from the same plant, same technology, and I think they're using the same materials as well. And the difference between the two of them, and they just look totally identical when you hold them in your hand, and they sound nearly identical. Dualund asked them to wind it a little different than how Miflex winds it, and they asked some tiny minor modifications, but the Dualund asked 16 times the price than Miflex is charging the customer. So what? I just can't believe the money grabbing mentality, and they are making a killing. Dualund is doing extremely well, and imagine when they have a sale that's like 75% off Dualund, they are still making an absolute shitless killing on their products. It's absolutely insane, and I didn't think anyone in the audio world is doing such shameless ripping off of the customers. But here we see another example that's not 16 times ripping the customer off, but like 50 to 100 times ripping it off. I think the only way they could ask 3,000 euro for this unit that you see here is if the spruce is mounted on comes from the soundboard of a Steinway piano. Yes, in that case, it deserves 3,000 euro for the spoils when it's mounted on the soundboard of a Steinway piano. But I would argue that it's a little bit of a waste. If you have a Steinway soundboard, then you should really use it to make tone arm out of it, and to make loudspeaker faceplate out of it. That should be your priority. Here it would be wasteful. And but here what we see is most of the pine that I use, the pine that I use for my loudspeaker, is higher grade than the spruce is being used here. So this is something that he has picked up in Practicare for €1 or less. I don't see anything warranting, not even 300 euro. Even with 300 euro, he would be making himself like a killing, like crazy. And as you see, I think that's why I am not a successful businessman, because I done this stupid channel that explains what things do, what things are, and when you do that, and when you, if I would have a product, I would sell it at an honest price that it cost, and include like an overhead to accommodate for my time, because if I'm making things like that, it means I cannot sustain myself. So I have to quit my job to sustain a business, right? And then this business that I'm making, these units, has to feed me, has to make me pay my rent or mortgage or whatever your condition is. And it has to be enough to pay my taxes. I have to build it in that a lot of customers will come back to me that, oh, I found something better on the internet, the absolute sound, or said that there's something, or Thomas came up with a new amplifier, and I want that. So just like lots of returns, or customer who wants to modify, change it, and you just spend like 10 hours a day on the phone, which is awesome. Like touching base with audiophiles who are interested is fantastic, but each hour you spend on the phone means each hour not doing your business, and each hour taken away from your life. It means that it's you need to make a lot of money to sustain yourself, to sustain a business. And what's going on here? Let's check the sound. Let's check the sound. It's still okay. Good, good. Uh, but doing this, I think what he's counting on is that maybe if he can sell like 10 units, he already made like $30,000 pure profit on it. I mean, euro, which is even better. Euro is stronger now than dollar, right? Isn't it? I don't know. I have to check the currency. But it's about the same. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I think after a while is I think he sold quite a few, because when you look at the recommendations, like where is it? Feedback. Is there user feedback? Where was that? Postscript. No. Messages. Listening. Maybe here. That was it? No, I can't find it. Ridiculous. Let's go back and back and back. Maybe I can back. Oh, here. So here is the user feedback. Maybe he just came up with fake user feedbacks to generate sales, but this is like 30 or so, more than 30. Then he made like 100,000 euro pure profit, and these suckers have all been duped. And I'm not saying it sounds bad, but all they needed is to get this $30 Class D amp, get the cheapest Class D amp you can buy today, pry it out from its chassis, get like these cheese ball jack, cheese ball connectors, and that's it. Put it on a board of spruce or pine. Actually, this looks more to me as pine. I don't think this is spruce. This looks to me pine, and then the previous one, it's just totally, it's indistinguishable from some of the pine I see here. I don't know. They are close family of wood, but it really looks to me more like pine. So I think I need to be convinced about the business backbone of this product being sold yet. So anyway, so that's what you need to do. And is it worth to do it? And I think it is. It's worth, because what I shared, what we all missed, is that my impression of this Class T amp. So when it came out, and look here, there everyone is like wowed by it, and says like it's simply the best sound I ever heard. I haven't clicked on it. Let's click on it. What does it saying? Hi Charles, I got it. Simply best sound I ever heard. Okay, not much more. Not comparable to anything else. Find the amp deck combination amazing. 108 dB sensitive avant-garde, does not have any noise at all. All the other amps tried have some noise, absolutely dead quiet, and pure tone, which is very involving. Haven't heard anything better on my horn speakers. I was using a Audio Note Kageki, designed by Kondo, serial number 3, for 6 years before I sold it to an Italian collector. Your products are not just comparable to anything else because of the purity they have. So what's going on? Because there is a review here that it has smoked an Audio Note amp with a very ultra efficient loudspeaker in every aspect. And so, but based on the price it's selling and what he's selling, maybe he wrote his comment himself, and it's not a real feedback, but maybe it's a real feedback, and I share my experience with this, and where we compared this T amp was not with an Audio Note, but it was with a Yamamoto. This not exact same, but it looked exact same. So it was Charlie's Yamamoto with the 45 tubes. He also had balloon 45s on it, in it. And why am I bringing up Audio Note as Yamamoto as comparison to Audio Note? Because it's the Japanese equivalent, like a non-Audio Note equivalent to Audio Note, because Yamamoto also just handcrafts most of the components in their amplifiers, and here they are not using like a cheese ball, 10 euros and pine piece of wood for the chassis, but they are using real rosewood and real ebony for the feet. Where is it? Where was it? Oh, here. Okay, but so this is real ebony, and I have seen many Yamamotos already in my life. They are just the most stunning, most gorgeous amplifiers you can ever conceive of. This picture doesn't even begin to do it any justice. It's just gorgeous, nothing less than gorgeous. And they make their own tube sockets, they make their own connectors, and it's not just those cheese ball connectors. They are pure copper connectors for the speaker binding post. They make their own C-core transformers inside the unit. Even the power transformer is a C-core transformer, and it is just a fantastic, absolutely fantastic amplifier. And you might have heard various or diverse reviews about it online, some saying, oh, it's fantastic, others say I have heard better than that. And when you read those reviews, I have heard better than that, then that's when you use like a lowish efficiency speaker with them. And the lowish, I mean under 100 dB per watt meter sensitivity. If one of my friends, Mark, he has the biggest Edgar horns, the Bruce Edgar horns with the seismic sub, which is the size of a refrigerator. That's the sub. That's Dr. Bruce Edgar's subwoofer that goes with it, and that system is one of the best that you can hear anywhere, anytime. and he has the Yamamoto. And he has tried just so many things in his system, and the Yamamoto reigns in his system since he got it. And he also swapped in a bunch of things, but nothing could remove the Yamamoto, provided that the rest of the system is already taken to the highest level, and to the efficiency that it can deal with. I mean that the amplifier is comfortable to drive. And unless you have something like 100 plus dB sensitivity, then you have not heard anything, not even the beginnings of the sound of this amplifier. Because yes, for something that's like around a 2 watt per channel output, you need that kind of sensitivity to wake them up from their slumber. If you are below 100, even like 96 dB, that's just barely scratching the surface, and you won't go, you will have like 5% of the what this amplifier is revealed to you. So why am I saying that? Because we had a session with our audio club buddies. This was at the time when this class D technology came out and the class TM came out, and first we compared it at my mentors at Stu's shop with the most pimped out class D amp at that time. And when we run this from the outlet, from the wall, it sounded pure unadulterated junk. It was unlistenable compared to that $900 class D amp. It was like listening a $30 versus a $1,000 amp, and which at that time kind of sounded like a $2,000-3,000, maybe $4,000 solid state amp. But there were some solid state amps like the CJ, which was I think at that time like $7,000. It completely trashed that class D at that time. But if we don't look at that, then it was really astonishing and really promising. We all had faults with it, and we noticed that it's not as good as it could be, not as good as any of the tube amps in Stu's shop, not by a long reach, but maybe in 30-40 years the technology will get there. So it sounded promising. But when we put this on battery, that's just wow, this jumped up to that level of that amplifier. And then we had a fun experiment. We went over to Charlie's place, and he has his system built around the Yamamoto. So he has this thing, like the same thing that you see here. And he had Bruce Edgar horns at the time, and he had a unique model that the late Bruce Edgar designed for him. And with louder drivers, and it was a single driver boost Bruce Edgar rear loaded horn, and that was the best ever louder speaker I heard in my life by an extremely wide berth. So anything built around louder was a really far cry from it, and suffered vastly from the louder shout. There, the louder shout was not there. It was like as just as a form as an increased dynamics in the upper mid range, but it was not something that was harmful to the sound. But it made listening to that speaker with the Yamamoto was kind of like almost like a really souped up experience of like being at a live event with extremely good room acoustics. So that's how those Edgar horns sounded, and they were like I think about 102 dB per watt meter efficient. And there into that system, and he had a micro Seiki turntable with his custom wooden tone arm. And he's an architect, and he designed the most kick-ass wooden tone arm you can imagine. Charlie was my buddy. We made the wooden tone arms together. So we built our interconnects together. So when you see my CCSWP interconnect, that was actually Charlie's idea to make it the sine wave. So we built, what we did with him is both of us were building interconnects, building out variations. We tried out everything we found on the internet, and we shared in communication with each other, like, and we tried them out, gave them to each other, try this, how does this work, and that's how we together got to that final interconnect. And then that's why I call it CCSWP, Charlie Chan style sine wave cable, because it was Charlie who came up with the sine wave idea, and he put the dot on the I, and with him that's where what he did with the wooden tone arms as well. We were like doing it parallel, and then helping out each other, and then sharing our findings, and as a result, both of us could really just immensely step up in our systems. Plus, we also share the third feature, the CD player. So we tweaked the same Micro Mega Stage 3. Well, not the same. He had his, I had mine, and we really took it really far away from where a Micro Mega Stage 3 is. And long story short, we put the T amp into his system, and we were there, I think about 18 of us. Stu was there too, my mentor as well, and we were listening to music. And when we listened to it plugged to the wall, it sounded bad. It sounded like, okay, this has a lot to go. But when we put in the batteries and we're running it from battery, like, oh, everyone felt really quiet at first. And then we were like, gosh, the dynamics, the clarity, it's dead quiet, transparency, the bass control. Wow, I never thought, you know, these single driver speakers have such astonishing bass and grip, and this is insane. And we were just completely amazed, Stu included, everyone just like, what's going on here? And of course we had those Charlie Chan style sine wave silver interconnects fed through into the headphone jack through an adapter into this or Charlie's unit, and we were just astonished. So if this feedback there that's around that where was that, the condo, anyway, about the condo thing, in one, I think the only way he could make that comparison is if he sold his condo before he heard this amplifier, because when we heard the T amp running from the battery, and here this thing you see, it's running from the battery, and that's a huge thing for a Class D amp. If you just want an overnight change, like you want to wake up your Cinderella, or who is the one sleeping, Snow White, you don't need a red apple, you need a red battery, you need a red car battery or any other car battery. Although, as I read here, he played around and he found that this car battery is the best sounding. Then yeah, play around with the batteries, find out which is the best sounding. There will be a difference between how car batteries sound. What I would do to make the car battery sound even better is put capacitor over the car battery, because the batteries do not have those kind of EM noises that travels on the AC line, but they have two things that the AC line does not have. So they do not have a myriad of the evils that travel on the line AC, but they have two evils that are not present in the line AC. One of the evils is the internal chemical noise. So batteries have the chemical noise, that the discharge of how the chemicals interact inside the battery, that creates its own noise. And number two that the batteries have is internal resistance. And for the line that comes in to your home, the internal resistance is virtually non-existent. And here there is a significant internal resistance. How you can get by that? Put a capacitor on the battery, and I would put like an Elna. I would put like an Elna Silmic over it. Put as big as you can, as many as you can, or try out like different kinds of capacitor which works, because I think it would even make it a step better. Just experiment, put a capacitor, or try out capacitors if you already have a system like this. And yeah, so that's the biggest thing, and that's what we thought when we listened to Charlie's system. Everyone was that, gosh, this is the end of the tube era, because we are having as much fun as we are having with any of the tube gear. And that was the first time Charlie heard his T-amp play in his own system. And he the owner of this amp, which is normally in his system, and he took it out and he hasn't heard it for a week. And he put in the T-amp, this baby, on battery. And he himself said it sounds better than his Yamamoto. It probably beats his Yamamoto. It's probably as good. Maybe not by much, but at least as good. But the Yamamoto is 3,400,000 yen, which is about $3,000. Now, this is $3,000. This is not $3,000. You have all the custom-made parts, all the expensive wood, all the expensive transformers that does cost $3,000. And I have no frigging clue how can Yamamoto sell it and make a living. I think anyone who sells it for that price is going dead as broke. I'm for sure I could not make a living selling them for that price. I would have to declare bankruptcy after the first month and come out of it like as broke. But here, 3,000? I don't see the same weight. And even if we argue that it sounds as good as this, but the cost behind it, what the... Anyway, so now let's go back to continue my experience. So even my friend, who's the owner of this amplifier, and first time in his life tried that Class D amp. I think maybe it was not his Class D amp. Maybe Stu brought over his, or Kyle, or Greg. I don't know. I think. And even he was totally crestfallen. And then all of us thought this is the end of the tube era. The tube amps are officially obsolete. And then after that, two more things. And this is the first generation of Class D amplifier. So what will happen in 20 years, which is today, right? Or 15, 20, I don't not exactly recall when this was. Long time ago. And yeah, today we have much better Class D amplifiers, but going back, they haven't become that much better since. The development hasn't been that striking in sound. It's been much more striking when you put it in a low-grade system, in a low-grade speaker, low-grade cabling, low-grade source. Then yes, the change from this to a modern day is vast. But put this on the battery instead of the Voivart, and that change disappears when it's capped beyond its power limitations. And when you hook it up to an ultra efficient loudspeaker, this from battery might even smoke some of today's very expensive Class D amps. Because they are just run from the wall. Of course, if you would run them from battery, you could step them up much more. But let me put the punchline on top of my story of what we heard, is that Charlie was like totally crestfallen that, okay, the digital, the cheapest of the digital $30 amp just destroyed his Yamamoto. But and none of us wanted to hear a tube amp after that. And it was just so astonishing, so amazing. But anyway, Charlie just went ahead and plugged in his Yamamoto, and everyone said, no, Charlie, don't shame the pure Yamamoto. We love the Yamamoto. It's such a gorgeous amp, but don't put it to this thing, like, don't roast it. And let me tell you what happened. But before that, I need to go on a little break here because nature is calling and my kidneys are saying, man, you have to go. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, thank you, team, for waiting. I'm back. I also need to drink a little. I'm so thirsty. It feels like I'm dying of thirst. That's what kidney stones do to you. Anyway, so now comes the punchline. We are putting the dot on the I or crossing our T's or how you would say it. Because he was like, oh no, this will be pure torture. And guess what? we heard we heard the first note. The first note, and there was this is pure bliss. And there was 18 of us, and you know, when audiophiles get together, we just have so wildly different preferences. And when you hear two amps, there's always people who say like, this is so much better. No, that's so much better. This, I don't know, maybe. But it's like you get the whole range. And there are guys who are the transistor guys. There are the tube guys. And they come up with their own preferences. And they would never ever admit, even if it's like one is, like if you're a transistor guy and a tube sounds better and say, it's a fluke. It's a fluke. Whatever. Let's play some different music or whatnot. It's still a fluke. Whatever. But here, what we heard just from the first note, every single one of us said that there's no comparison between the two. It is night and day. And it's not that there was a difference between like noise floor or dynamic range or bass control or high frequency extension. So in all of the audiophile criteria when we looked at, they were head to head. Same. No difference. So what on earth was it that made that difference, that every single person, even the hardcore transistor guys, said that the Yamamoto is night and day better than the T-amp, which just a moment before we all of us called as a tube amp killer. What was it? And let me just check the comments if someone has an idea. And yes, that was it for me too. And oh, Jimmy is sharing lithium battery, stable voltage. I think that would be a pretty big step up compared to the lead acid car batteries. And I think lithium, Jimmy, is much quieter too, right? The chemical noise is just a fraction compared to the lead acid, and also, as you say, it's like super stable voltage. And old Macintosh 4-channel car amp, that's awesome. From lithium battery, wow. And yes, first watt amps sound very tubey. Nick, I would really say to if you have a first watt amp or friends who have, like, put them on a battery, try it out with a battery, and with the first watt, because it's just like a 1 watt, a few watts, they will run for a very long time on a single car battery, and it's it will really knock that amp to even higher level. Let me reload because I see a little tremendous lag, and maybe my posts are lagging too. Oh no, okay, good. Upgrading caps matching resistors can improve the output, paired with a little bare preamp, etc. And yeah, so that's what Jimmy doing. He's doing the right thing. Like, try like changing the matching resistors, everything. And when you have something like this, and you have the SMDs, it's almost impossible to change them, and the quality of the SMDs is pure junk. So if he made his own board, if you would make your own board go to that length, I would suggest to make it a little bit bigger and place decent resistors on it. And yeah, it would cut into your pure 3,000 euro profit margin. I subscribe to that, but man, it just would literally knock the performance to one level up compared to what you are getting. Sorry, man, like losing 50 euro on the profits, man. I know it's hard. It's hard, yeah. Anyway, joking apart, but no, I don't think I can joke about that. Well, and here we get the answer. Perhaps the Yamamoto activates a different part of the brain, lets you focus on what is important to you. Communication over performance. Yes, that is it. That is what we have experienced. That when we were listening to the digital, to the class D, then what we perceived is we perceived the technology, and our attention was forced at the technical aspect. We were looking at the detail. We were basking at the bass control, at the dynamics, at all of these aspects of the sound, which I call the superficial aspects of the sound. That's the surface of the presentation that connects you to your audio gear. It connects you to the equipment. And we were getting all of those clues in spades that connect us to the equipment. So in one word, we could also say this: the expression, how the system expresses itself. And it expressed itself extremely well, and that was hugely satisfactory for our intellect. It satisfied our intellect 100%. And when we switched over to the Yamamoto, we still got the same level of detail, the same qualities. But the way it expressed itself was not focusing on the superficial, on the surface. It was not focusing our mind on the expression, how it expresses itself, but it focused us on the perception, on how we perceive the music. With that moment we heard it, we stopped thinking about stereo. We stopped thinking about the amplifier. We stopped thinking about dynamic range, about clarity, about bass control, about anything. And we were like, wow, he was such an amazing drummer. And we started talking stories about the drummer to whom we were listening to. And then like stories about how the music affected us, what is happening there. And everyone was traveling far away with the music. We connected to the music. We did not connect to the gear. We stopped that. It was cut, like with scissors. That was the scissors bit. The addiction, the superficial addiction to the envelope, to the surface, has been popped, like taking a needle and popping. And when we were in class D amp territory, then we were just inflating the balloon. And where we were in our mindset is that we were convinced that this is as expanded as it can be, but every single one of us were thinking about how much better it will get in 10 years. We talked about it, and that's what everyone shared, that we were just so excited that this is amazing and it will get even better. And we wanted to more and more until we burst, until we spent our last money on a Class T amp in the future. And none of us got satisfaction from it. All it did was kick our hunger to the next gear. And when we are looking at gear that does this, that focuses on expression, and that's what all the audio media talk about, like the Absolute Sound and all the YouTube review channels, they focus on this. That's what the audio industry, audio marketing industry is about, to sell us the uh, this dream of ever expanding bubble of expression that gets more and more astute, and it just creates a greater and greater hunger in you, and it won't give you satisfaction. It will actually, the more you expand this bubble, the more hungry you will get. So that's why the more you get drawn into this hobby, into audiophilia, the more out of touch with reality you become. And that's why your spouse and everyone starts to complain about you, that you lost your connection to the world. All you care is about burning money for your audio system, which doesn't even sound good. Ask your spouses, those of you who have really expensive systems, they won't even care to listen to it because it doesn't sound good. It is only in your mind, that ever-expanding hunger. That's the only thing it does. It feeds the hunger of your intellect, nothing more. And that's what I found to be the trappings of audio, and that's what I left 20 years ago. I completely cut that aspect outside of my life. And that's why I started building my own stuff, because I wanted to go towards the perception route. And I heard equipment that does it, but it does it at a price range where I couldn't afford as a broke student. So that's why I built my stuff, which I could do as a student, right? On the budget. And now I think I learned lessons about it, how we can shift towards perception. And that's why I made this channel, to share, so you can do it in your life without spending, without reverse mortgaging your home. And what else? So basically that's it. I think the sound, what we are looking for is not sound. We are looking to connect to the music, and sound is a vehicle. But if it doesn't transport you the content, there's no cargo in it, it will just make you hungry. Because when you are getting a shipment, getting the fanciest box, you are getting a golden box, and you are happy, it triggers all the hormones in your brain. Wow, I'm getting something fantastic. You open up and there's nothing. You're hungry. It's like you go into a restaurant and you have like, wow, a menu on a golden leaf. You have golden plates, you have golden forks, spoon, golden chopsticks. You have golden cups. And then they give you a plastic chicken. Or what they have, those plastic sushi that they make, like the plastic sushi platter, and they put on a display window, and it looks like real food, and it looks like the best sushi. Wow, you start salivating. But if they put that on your plate, you can't eat it, right? No, it's not happening. It looks perfect, but it doesn't nourish you. That's what this kind of expression geared sound does to us, and that's why we are lost. 99% of audiophiles are lost because they're out of their minds from the hunger for substance in the music. And that substance, I found, it can be so easily had from tube equipment, provided you build your system around it. You have speakers that don't kill them, they don't choke them, but they support, they play with them. Then you will find home really soon, really get home really fast with them. And with these TMs, that's the beginning. I think the Phi primer, the F1 or the Nason Pass amps were quite a step of refinement over the T amp. And if you rebuild them with a spruce board, and maybe use real spruce, not just pine, like fake spruce, like in that case, and I think then even the 5 primer or any of the Nelson Pass amps will go towards the perception scale, or they might even be geared towards the perception scale, because I think Nelson Pass is someone who builds his amps for his own enjoyment, as he perceives it, and not for numbers. And just try it with batteries. I really recommend doing that. And because I think this route to connect to the music, to perceive, can be done with solid state as well. It's just the road that is set for us is just so different, but we just have to leave it and just go on our own. And I think that's what my session is now about. And I think, unfortunately, I probably have to stop now because I feel extremely dehydrated and I'm not drinking nearly enough, not hydrating nearly enough. And probably it's medication time already as well. So I'm really, really sorry for wasting an hour. And it's really crazy that I was scrolling up and down the post, the chats, and it didn't show up any of those chats that say the sound sucks. I'm really, really speechless. What was happening? It's just, duh. What? So I don't understand what's happening. Well, what I understand is that there's a huge lag between what I'm seeing here and what my real time. Maybe because of that lag, I wasn't seeing any of those. But now I saw all of them. So I'm really, really sorry for that. And actually, that's the reason why I am not doing. Actually, I skipped a line of thought. Is that on my OBS studios, when I switch from scene mode, here, this is where I double check that I do not have the audio capture coming from my computer. And when I'm here, switching over here, it has very different sound settings. And it has a screen capture, but what I did is that I just quieted my speakers from in the computer, but I did not take down the screen capture thing, which I normally would have easily spotted, but now I'm just focused on the talking, and I didn't notice it. So that's what happened. And yeah, so I'm really sorry. I wasted an hour of your time, and you had to separate echoes and whatnot. So just absolutely atrocious. And my compliments to everyone who really hang on for an hour of that utter nightmare. And I had to invoke the help of my kidney stones and come back from the bathroom break to notice what was going here. So anyway, I did a promise that I was going to post a video. Ooh, the light is just so strong now from outside. Anyway, but I am unable to fulfill my promise. As you have seen in the past couple of days, I haven't been able to make videos. My kidney stones are really just, I could say, killing me, but I don't want to make any self-fulfilling prophecies yet. I've had these kidney attacks for the past 3 weeks continuously, and I've taken out like a bunch of vacation days, like really, really well ahead for this month. And I thought I could do a lot of things at home, a lot of projects, catch up with it, and also like do a lot of videos, and it didn't happen. It turned out into a nightmare sick leave and recovery from that, and I'm still haven't recovered. I'm still in the middle of it. So I don't know how many videos I will be doing in the near future, probably very little. So that's why I just so truly appreciate it that you all hang out and hang on to to this just I don't know what it was in the beginning, but it was not but it was a live show. It was a live shit show. But thank you guys, thank you for your amazing well wishes, and thank you everyone. And thank you Hardboiled Fellow for pointing us to that BYOB amplifier and how and the importance to these little things, like what I think is that what I experienced is the more natural element, the more you bring the audio gear closer to nature, the more it will resonate to you. As humans, we evolutionary scale, we spend millions of years in wood. So when you bring more of wood into your system, you will feel closer to it. So thank you. Oh, Jimmy, you have a channel. I didn't know that. I will check it out. Thank you, Tim. And oh, one more thing. We are going to have on the, I think it will come out on the 29th, my time, next time. We will have a live show with George Borden and Nick Pantazzi. And this is George Borden's live show that they have every Sundays. And they have invited me to participate. So I will be part of the team that Sunday, on the 29th Sunday. And we'll be celebrating. Nick, may I share it? What we'll be celebrating? And it is just delaying. There's a delay. So anyway, I just keep on talking until that. So it will be fun. It will be fun. And if you don't know who George Borden is, just look it up, and you will get assigned to the inside of a recording. I will be welcomed to the team who produces music and who plays music, because Nick plays music. And yeah, he gave me the go ahead, and we will be celebrating Nick's birthday. So it will be the birthday show for Nick, and I joined for that. I think that's we'll have a blast, and I really can't wait for that. And it's an honor for me to be invited. Nick is a fantastic, it's a phenomenal professional musician of the highest grade, who has toured the world. And George Borden, he's a recording engineer and of the highest grade. And it's an honor to be joining you and Greg, Nick. So thank you, Tim, and let's play. I mean, let's play. Let's say goodbye on that high note, and thank you, Tim, for being here and struggling through those nightmarish 45 minutes. I just can't even say how much I appreciate that. That's truly touching, and that makes my suffering with my kidney stones much more bearable. And you all made my day, honestly. So thank you, team. Have an astonishing day. Bye.